Hello and welcome to part 2 of the SS Nomadic interior tutorial. I hope you all found part 1 okay. It wasn't anything too difficult, was it? This part is going to be probably just as easy, even though we're dealing with the engine room. It's still nothing that's overly difficult, to be honest. For those of you who might be wondering where Will is, he's not really part of this one. I think he's still enjoying his break from the Titanic. He's not really much of a gamer, so he probably won't be on every single tutorial, maybe just the odd one. Obviously he really likes the Titanic, so he really wanted to be part of that one. Plus we designed it together, so it would have been wrong to not have him. So the first thing we're going to deal with is these bulkheads. You're just going to bring those up to height, which is up to the deck where the yellow line is. You just need to bring both sides of those up. I actually don't know how many bulkheads the Nomadic had. The deck plans I had weren't great at all. I really did look around to see if I could find better ones, but nothing really showed anything too clearly. So I'm really not sure how many bulkheads it had. So you just want to do the same on the other side as well. So then you'll have two bulkheads just in the middle there. And then what you're going to want to do is the bulkhead that's towards the back of the ship, if you find your central block and just punch out a doorway there. You can use your metal doors if you wish. So what we're going to do next is punch out the holes for the propellers to come through. So it's 4 blocks to the left and then 4 blocks to the right. You just want to punch a hole through for the propellers to come through to the engines. And then we're going to go back here and drag them through. And just leave them sat there for now. So that's that done. And we'll just double check this back bit, because I didn't actually count this in the last part. So if you count from this block here towards the back of the ship, it should be 38 altogether. When I say 38 altogether, it means when you get to the back bit, the middle block that sits right at the back should be block 38. So that middle one there between the 3 at the back should be your 38th block. I mean, you've got a bit of room to play with anyway. Even if yours is slightly out, which hopefully at this point it shouldn't be. So that's that counted in. And I thought while we're here, before we crack on with the engine room, we'll just put a few supports on here. It doesn't really matter where you put them in, to be honest. I only put 2 on each side. So yeah, I am sorry again for the delay getting this out. I actually intended on getting it out sooner than this. But the problems that I was having with my back, that just really wasn't helping. I mean, I was sat here trying to concentrate on where I needed to build stuff, and all I could think about was the pain in my back, and it was just horrendous. So I had to just take a break, really. Just sitting in a computer chair was difficult. But not only that, it actually took me a little while to figure the deck plans out, because I was sat there for probably a couple of days, really. Just like now and again, just looking at the deck plans, thinking, where the hell are all the rooms? Like, where's all the quarters and stuff like that? And it's like, it took me a while to figure out there isn't actually any like living quarters as such. I think there's a couple of rooms at the front of the ship for the crew, and that's it. So like I said, I didn't really have the best deck plans to work with. I'm definitely going to have to research deck plans for any future ships to make sure I can see them clearly, so that I'm not looking for rooms that aren't there. So now we're going to get on with the actual engine room. The engines, they're not the greatest, to be honest, compared to what we did on the Titanic. I tried looking for pictures and stuff to see what the engines actually look like. I couldn't find anything overly great, so it was just my interpretation of it, to be honest. Feel free to do better engines if you like. So what we're going to do first is come over to the right side of the ship, facing the back, and then you're going to count in on this red bit. On the 7th block, place one there, and then bring it forward by one. And it should be 6 long altogether. And then you're going to bring it up by an extra 5, so that it's 6 high altogether. It's basically the same what we did on the Titanic, just on a much smaller scale. So before you build this bit up, maybe if you want, you can put some coal in there, just for a bit of extra detail. Just cover it up at the top. And then the middle 2 blocks there, just punch them out. And then put like a trapdoor. So as you can see, you can actually see inside, so if you want to put some coal in, it's up to you. And we're just going to do exactly the same on the other side. So the 7th block, place a block there, and it's going to be 6 high altogether. Pretty simple stuff, really. And take the 2 blocks out at the front. And that's the coal bunkers sorted. So we'll move on to the boilers next. As far as I could tell, there was only 2. It's going to be a very similar design to the boilers on the Titanic, just on a slightly smaller scale. So they don't look as great, but it's the best that I could do. I had limited space to work with. So face the bulkhead that's towards the front of the ship. If you go to the left here. So the 4th block right. And then the 4th block back. Place one there. And then one next to it. And then place an additional 4 blocks. And on the 8th block there, place another 2. And then an additional 4 blocks. And that should be the placement for your boilers. So if you have built our Titanic interior, you'll be kind of familiar with the design of the boilers. It's 1 out, 2 up, 1 back in, and then 2 on the top there. And then the same design on the other side. 2 up there, and then 1 back in. So as you can see, they are a lot smaller. 1 out, 2 up, 1 back in, 2 on the top, and 1 out, 2 up, and 1 back in. Then you're just going to connect those up. Yeah, the room isn't great in this ship. It's a lot smaller than the last one we did. You just fill in the back. As far as I'm aware, they were single-ended boilers, so you don't have an opening at the back, only at the front. Fill them bits in there. And that bit as well. And for the campfire, I was going to take the blocks out of the bottom and put the campfire in like we did on the Titanic, but it doesn't work for these boilers because they're really small, as you can tell there. So what I did is I just placed it on top there, and it works just as well. Then all you need to do is grab some buttons. Just place some on the top 3 rows. And that's just a bit of detail for the boilers. You can use your carpet on the top as well if you like, if you want to add some extra detail. And we're just going to do exactly the same with the other boiler. That's 1 out, 2 up, 1 back in, and 2 on the top. And 1 out, 2 up, and then 1 back in. And then the same on the back. So yes, a lot simpler engine room on this ship, thankfully. In fact, I would say that this is probably the most difficult part of the build, to be honest. And it's not difficult at all, so looking forward to a nice easy tutorial. And then you just fill that in the same way you did with the other one. I will say I am missing the banter already, with Will not being here. Like I said though, he's not much of a gamer. He might dabble in a bit of Minecraft and a bit of Fortnite now and again. That's about it, really. He's just not into video games the same way I am. See, I've been like gaming pretty much my entire life. And I really enjoy like editing videos and stuff like that, so this sort of thing is right up my street. Whereas not so much for him. But hopefully, I mean, I'm not ruling out the possibility that he might be on maybe one of these videos. I just don't currently have any plans with him at the minute. So I don't want to say for certain there is going to be in any of these videos. But I'm not ruling it out either. It would be nice. Although I would expect a lot of abuse from him if he did. Because that's just what he's like. You saw how he bullied me on the Titanic. And I, of course, was completely innocent in every single video. Anyway, enough of that bullshit. We'll get on with the engines now. Like I said, very simple design. By all means, feel free to do your own design. I only did a very basic one, just going off what little pictures I could find of the engines. Like I said, I couldn't really find any decent pictures that like showed the entire engine room and stuff like that. So I did a very basic design. So from the door here, you want to go 3 left, then third one back, place 1 there, and then 2 to the left, and then 2 back. It's literally like a 3x3 block, just like that. And back to the door, 3rd block to the right, and then the 2nd block back, and just the same design on this side. So you should have that. So it's 3 to the right and then the 3rd block back. And you just get your stairs, place 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. Then you want a full block in the middle, there. And then bring this up by another 2 in the middle here. Could add a little bit of extra detail with carpet, just makes it stand out a little bit better. Like I said, it's really nothing special. Do the same on this side. Step there, and then on this side as well. You want a full block in there, and then bring that middle bit up by an extra 2. Bit of carpet if you wish. You know, feel free to use different colour blocks and stuff like that. I'm not actually sure what colour they were. I just went for stone blocks. But feel free to use something else. So we'll do this next. So stone wall there, stone wall there. And then I do believe it's up by 4. Yep, there we go. So it's 5 altogether. And bring it in by 1. Up by an extra 4 and then bring it in. Then we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Up by 4. And 4 there. And bring it in by 1. Then 3 blocks in the middle. And then at the front where the propeller's going to come through, I'm going to grab some steps again. Place an upside down one there, and then one there, and then just feed your propeller through to it. And that's basically it. So you're just going to do exactly the same on the other side. Sorry, my voice is going. So one there, and the same on the other side, and then bring them up by an extra 4. Then bring them in by 1. And then 3 in the middle. Then a bit of carpet on top. And then you just need to feed your propeller through to it after that. So an upside down step on the bottom. And then a step there. And then just bring your propeller through. So like I said, very basic design. Feel free to experiment and do better if you wish. So that's that. So to finish off this engine room next, we'll just do the little bit of part work coming out of the boilers, and then the start of what's going to feed up to the funnel. So we'll crack on with that in just a second. Okay, so first things first, we're going to do some very simple part work coming from the engines to the boiler. So you're going to have to knock out this piece of carpet there and there. And basically what you're going to do is just a single pipe towards the boiler. You'll have to knock out that top button as well. And that's as simple as it is, really. And place one there and drag it back. Knock out that button. And that's the part work coming from the engine to the boilers. So lastly, what we're going to do is the part work coming out of the back that filters into the funnel. So we're going to head to the back of the boilers, and you can either use a netherite block or a stone wall, it's up to you. But this corner here, go to the 3rd block down, bring it out by 2, and then 2 that way. So you should have that. And then exactly the same on this boiler. 2 out and then 2 there. Then basically what you're going to do in the middle is 9 blocks. So 3 rows of 3 in the middle. Just like that. Then you're going to bring it up. You're actually going to bring it up by 5 so that it's actually a block above the bulkhead, because that will filter through into the funnel when we get that in. So that is basically the engine room done. You can just put some lighting in there if you like. I like to use the glowstone with the bits of carpet on top of it, just so that I simply don't have lanterns all over the place. I mean, when it comes to lighting, it's not really something I need to include in the tutorial, really. It's up to you, pretty much, how much lighting you want in your ship, and where you want it, and what you want to use for it. But in rooms like this, I like to just use the glowstone, cover it up with a piece of carpet so it's not so obvious. And it still lights the room up, even though you've covered it with carpet. So it actually works out quite well. But like I said, it's entirely up to you when it comes to lighting, really. So yeah, I've been pretty much solo on this ship, to be honest. I've actually designed this myself, which, you know, in a kind of way, it's nice to know that I can actually do it on my own. Because like when it came to the Titanic, you know, I felt like I had to wait for William before I could do anything, just in case I cocked anything up. But that's my own lack of confidence coming through. So doing this ship on my own has actually raised my confidence a bit, because I had no idea that my channel was actually going to go in this direction, that I was going to be doing interiors for ships. I mean, I'm not what you could class as a ship enthusiast, to be honest, so I didn't see this direction coming at all, but I've got to say I am enjoying it, and I hope that you're enjoying following along as well. So I think we're just going to finish off by filling these floors in, because there's nothing in this bit under this deck. Not that I could tell. I mean, I don't know if there was any storage rooms back there. There might have been. But like I said, the schematics that I had, the deck plans that I had, they weren't great. And the fact that they were in French was really a hindrance. The fact that I had to sit there using Google Translate to translate what they actually said on the deck plans, that was time consuming as well. So that's all contributed to it all being delayed and stuff. But yeah, there was a lot of writing I couldn't make out. Never mind translate it. So if you do know of anything that's under this floor in here, by all means, you know, let me know in the comments. Maybe I can still add it in a later tutorial, because I'm still building this ship like the tutorial. I've done the design part of it, the other ship's got the interior in. But in terms of the tutorial, I'm actually still building and recording, so it's not too late to add anything in. So by all means, if there was anything in there, let me know, and I'll try and add it in. Otherwise, there is a few rooms behind that bulkhead that we can see in the distance there. You could maybe pull that bulkhead back a little bit for a bit of extra room, but that's your choice. I won't be doing it in the tutorial. I'm going to leave that up to you, just in case you want a bit of extra room at the front, because that's where I've put some crew rooms. I think the only rooms that were in there that had beds and stuff. And there's not a lot of room at the front, so maybe you could pull the bulkhead back a little bit, but like I said, that's your choice. So we're going to fill these in, and these 2 portions will be covered in part 3. And then I think after that, probably would be best to finish off the rest of the ship. So I'll go back to Rich LaRusso's tutorial and finish the ship, and then we can finish off the rest of the ship then. But we'll keep this bit open for the part 3. There's pretty much just benches in these bits. I've actually nicknamed the ship of benches because it feels like that's all I had to put in once I'd figured there was no rooms. So yeah, it's a pretty simple ship to do, to be honest. I hope you're all following along okay and not having any issues. Feel free to leave me a comment if you are. Hopefully you're not, but I'm always happy to help. I'm probably going to upload the videos a few days apart at a time, maybe 2 or 3, because once the Nomadic's finished, I am back to the drawing board with a new ship. I don't know what that is yet. I'll make a decision probably in the next few days, depending on what deck plans I can find and stuff. So that's it for part 2, which is good because I feel like my voice is starting to go, so it couldn't have been timed any better. I hope you've followed along okay. Like I said, any issues, leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. And I hope to catch you in part 3. Thanks for watching.